thought of the day was this. So there was a song from the 80s with LL Cool J and Tracy Spencer called Two Different Worlds, right? And for some reason, that line just kept popping up. Two different worlds. Go listen to the real song. But so the reason that I thought about it was that today I didn't want to come to the gym, and I wanted to sit, and I wanted to mow, and I wanted to stand my ground. And I'm going to say it this way: the past 2 days have been crazy. SA like a few days ago. Then the day after that, my second came on. Then the day after that, I thought I was battling the snakes and I thought I was doing a good job. But I went and had nice restful sleep. I stayed home all day. And then I woke up and I was laying there. I had some weird dream and I heard it sound like something going through a bag. And I'm thinking, was it field mice? Like, what's the deal? I opened my eyes. There's snakes everywhere. Green snakes, black snakes, brown, olive green snakes. And of course, I jumped up silently and quickly and exited, right? And so with all that going on, usually during the day, we'll spend my days out, whatever. And, because it's that time, I wanted to relax. And the first thought that came to mind was fear. So that's the second thing. Either, what is the saying, face everything and run? No, face everything and rise, or fear everything and run, right? So snakes are a scary thing, and we fear what we don't know. Like I said, my first encounter with a snake was maybe a week ago. It was a big black snake, like 3 feet long, and it had a little sassy little attitude. And then right after I had that situation, I had a human snake approach me with the same little sassy, But the thing is that when we don't understand something, that's what makes us fear it, right? Because we don't know. We only go by the impressions that other people give us, stuff it, and whatever. So it turns out that that particular snake, is non-venomous, and it's going to leave you alone if you don't bother it. Now, just like the thing that happened when my car got stolen at the church, and somebody said, well, when one thing happens, 10 more things come a bunch of times worse. So yeah, I overcame that when now I had like a swarm of snakes. I'm like, what the heck? It was a show that I saw where this guy was walking through a pool of snakes. That's kind of what it looked like. And it was so scary that I just remained silent, jumped up and left. Right? And the first thought that came to my mind was, oh, I got to get out of here. I can't get out fast enough, right? And because it was that time, all of that was going on at once. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have an accident or anything like that, because I didn't use bathrooms or nothing. I jumped up and was trying to be out of there. But then all of that movement and motion exhausted me, and I had to chill. And when you chill and you sit back and you don't act on gut reaction just immediately, you get a chance to see things for what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody says, oh, that person did this, that, and the other, and you just jump based on what somebody said, and you don't take the time to study and find out what that's about, you could be missing out on something. Or you can lose everything you have just to go along with whatever somebody else had to say because you didn't do your own research, right? And you have to think analytical and critical thinking. What do these people, places, or things that say these things about this other person, this other entity, what do they have to gain from saying that, right? Is it just because they're following the status quo? Is it more deeply rooted than that? Like when they used to say that carrots were good for your eyes and you found out they really weren't. They were just trying to push everybody to eat. Everybody has their own agenda and saying what they say, sharing what they share, so forth and so on. Either they truly believe it or somebody duped them and they're trying to decrease it, right? So, and just like the last time I came to the gym, it was for research purposes. This is supposed to be for research too. I didn't realize it's so late already. But so we're going to find out some more about snakes and that type of thing, the green, the black, venomous snakes and all of that. Because a lot of times, just like people, if you leave them alone, for the most part, they don't bother you. So that's one thing that we really want to, kind of be mindful of, making sure that we are not fearing things just out of fear that someone else instilled in us, but the fear that we are experiencing, we have to make sure that we are experiencing this based on something we've experienced ourselves, because we can miss out on a lot or lose a lot because of that. So, yeah. And then with all that being said, back to the two different worlds thing. So, like I said, I didn't want to come to the gym. I wanted to stay at home, and I wanted to just lay in the bed, and I wanted to, just lay there and stand my ground. I wasn't going to let the snakes scare me off, whatever, right? But then, me and my analytical mind, of course I made a whole list of research of what I was going to do about the snakes and whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not going to fear that. I'm just going to go and actually find out what the snakes are about, right? And so it made me think of a couple of weeks ago, I ran into this young man, and I bumped into him a couple of times, and when I see him, it's always a pleasure, because it's always good to see a familiar face and someone that welcomes you, or at least, you have some type of connection. And so when I saw him this time, he had mentioned the first time, a long time ago, that he didn't want to be here anymore on this earth. And I don't know how to handle that, because I've always wanted to be here. I want to be here as long as I can, no matter what. I want to see how the story ends, And the next time I saw him, my eyesight's not too good. I was away afar, a little back off. And as I was walking past, he called out to me, and I told him, because I couldn't see you, I can't see you, so I'm going to come closer. And it turned out to be that person who was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. He didn't want to be here anymore. And I said, well, why? This young man, handsome young man, completely healthy, nothing wrong with him, really, really young, like maybe 25, 26. And I said, well, why not? Like, what's the deal? A lot of the things that you're lamenting or complaining about, a lot of people love to have. He was just like, oh, I want to be somewhere that I actually want to be. I don't have anywhere that I belong, and this, that, and the other. And I was just like, if you don't like the view where you at, go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Change your view. You're completely healthy, 2 good feet, legs, arms, handsome. Go do what you got to do, And the reason that I say that and I feel that way is because, over the past few months, like I said, I have different chapters in my life. I was in the chapter where I was going to this community center. And the community center that I was going to, I came across people that were elderly, and some churches too. And they couldn't do the smallest things they wanted to do. They wanted to braid their granddaughter's hair. They wanted to pick peas or whatever. They couldn't, because their hands had gotten swollen up. People that couldn't walk, people that had knee problems, people on dialysis, So it's very important that you appreciate what you have. And for a handsome young man, 25, 26 years old, you're sitting here on the sidewalk talking about you don't want to be here anymore. Boy, if you don't get up, and then everything I had to say. And that day I was having a, really connected with God, having a real good day. And so I feel like I was selfish a little bit, because I'm like, oh, he's draining all of my energy. I need all my stuff for me to survive, and he's taking it all away, And so I was telling him everything I said, it was something else, but if you don't like the view, change the view. And he was like, yeah, you're right, this is not such a bad situation here, and he was like, well, where am I going to go, I was like, well, just walk up the street. You don't know, you might bump into somebody new, you might find something else, or find a different way to do things. The world is, and that's what keeps me going, the world is full of so many different variables, and sometimes when we get stuck, it's because we allow ourselves to get stuck. Like today, I was going to allow myself to get stuck. I didn't want to come to the gym, didn't want to. But like I said, God is in my corner, and he'll make things happen where it's just like, oh, nope, I got to go. And that's what happened, And sometimes, like I said in my last video, the things that happen in our lives are not to fail us or to cause us harm, it's to prosper us. So when you find a situation that's a tough situation to be in, you find something that you don't like, that's your cue to get moving, keep your feet moving, get up and get going, And be thankful, that you have the mobility, that you're able to move your body to get from A to B. Be thankful that you have all your faculties. And if you're attractive, be even more thankful for that, because that can get you a little bit further. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to be thankful for. Use what you got, because like I said before, something that you have that you take for granted or that you're bemoaning, somebody else would love, and then when time comes around when you're able to appreciate it, you may not have it anymore. They say you don't know what you got till it's gone. But the reason the song Two Different Worlds came to mind is this. Because the things that I'm experiencing is two different worlds. Me laying in bed thinking about the essay, thinking about the snakes all over the place, you know? What was that going to resolve? Nothing. You know, I'm standing my ground. I'm not leaving because, you know, I'm not scared of the snakes. But I'm messing up because I could sit here and get attacked and die. Where, you know, I could go out, get some exercise, research on the snakes, and be better prepared, you know? You can sit and be miserable all you want to. You know what I'm saying? It's two different worlds. That was misery. That was the closet opportunity for snakes. Without gaining any knowledge, without hydrating myself, without any exercise, without seeing any light of day from a different aspect or point of view, you know? And then I come to the gym, totally different, you know? Get a chance to get some fresh air, experience new things. And that's the thing too about your brain. The more things you experience, whether good or bad, and sometimes the greater the varying, if you can take it, you know, the more that it enhances your, sets your neurons afire, you know? It keeps your brain sparking, you know, so it's good to be in different environments. So this is helpful, you know. And sometimes if you're feeling like you're depressed or in a bad mood or whatever, make yourself get up and go. Go somewhere, anywhere, you know. And have a purpose, have a plan, you know. Make sure that wherever you're going is intentional. And I always say this about your life, be intentional about what you're doing, you know. Make sure that you're going there for a purpose and a reason. So even if you don't fully accomplish whatever it was that you went there to get, you took the first step, you got there, you know. Then the next time you can, you know, maybe you didn't research what you want to research, but you open the app. You know, so that's what I mean about two different worlds. You know, you could be in a situation with the world and so many different variations and variables out there for you to experience. All you got to do is set up, foot out the door, and you never know what's going to happen next, you know? So yeah, but I went to go listen to the song. It has nothing to do, nothing to do with that. That song is so old. But yeah, but your own life can be a reflection of that. Two different worlds in one life, you know? You just have to make the choice to look out and get a different perspective. And to do that, you got to get moving, you know? Recently, I went to a church that preached on consistent and how great it was that God was consistent. We should be consistent too. But I'm like this, everything is everything. There are no absolutes. You know, consistency can be a good thing. But then people always know your next move. And that's my issue. I used to be so consistent and do everything. But the way that God is in my life now, He shifts my gears for me. He makes things happen where I can't stay in the same spot. He shifts it, so I have to do something different. I don't have any choice. But if you have God in your life, if you have, you know, a thought of a higher power in your life, you know, sometimes things change like that, you know, to help us shift gears because we're not shifting them on our own very well, right? So be thankful for wherever you are in your life, whatever you are in your life, and just enjoy it. Let the love of Christ apply.